Road bikes ridden by the professionals always look so good. At least they do in my opinion. So after much scrutiny, I found 9 easy ways to make your bike look more pro. First off, ditch that saddlebag. They collect endless amounts of road grime, which results in them looking pretty shoddy. So, if you can spare the water bottle cage real estate, then my suggestion would be to opt for a tool keg or barrel. You can slide all of your tools into one of these watertight containers and keep it in a place that isn't so obvious. You get the clean look of no saddlebag, and it still keeps all of your ride essentials out of your pockets. Ideal. I'm a big fan of the Z-Fowl Z-Box, which I have linked below. You can get them in 3 different sizes. They're really inexpensive. My only recommendation would be to use some kitchen roll to stop everything from rattling around inside. One thing I will add to this though, in terms of keeping your bike looking more pro, is to make sure that you do actually have matching bottle cages. This can go a really long way for the bike's visual impact. This one kind of goes without saying, and I'm sure most of you did this as soon as you got your bike, but ditch all of the reflectors, the bell and the rear chain guards. With properly indexed gears, you shouldn't need the protector to stop the chain from falling behind the cassette. And with regards to the bell, the ones that generally come with bikes aren't always the best looking, but there are some really sleek looking options out there like the bell from Nog, which I personally think looks so much smarter. Of course, being seen is important, which is why I now opt to run lights during the day and night instead of using reflectors. They're much more effective at catching other road users' attention, just be sure to keep them charged up. Now, you may be saying, but Sam, having lights on your bike isn't very pro. And to you I would say, incorrect. It's only when the lights are mounted poorly that it can start to look messy. Which is why I think opting for a light which can be mounted to your saddle rails is a really great option. It negates the need to strap one to the seat post, it positions the light higher up, and therefore should keep it more in the eye line of other road users. But most importantly, it keeps it tucked out of the way and enables you to maintain that clean, sleek, pro aesthetic. I stumbled across this 3D printed mount on Etsy, which is a really neat solution for mounting my exposure tracer to my bike. Again, I've linked it below in case you want to grab one for yourself. I just love the design and I think it seriously elevates the attention to detail. While we're in this area of the bike, one thing to consider is matching your saddle to your handlebar tape. So for example, if you have a black saddle, try pairing that with some black tape or another color that matches another part of your bike's color scheme. What I think can start to look messy and not as pro is having a bit of a hodgepodge of colors that are all fighting each other. Of course, this one is purely subjective, and if you disagree with me, then just let me know down in the comments below. That being said, I think a bike's cockpit is a really key area for a lot of people to really up the curb appeal of their pride and joy. First off, if it's possible, I would try and opt for an out front mount which positions your head unit centrally to the stem. Ideally, it would be great if it also kept the head unit flush with your handlebars and level with the ground. Better still, if your handlebars have the capability to fit an integrated out front mount, then utilize that functionality because it will give you a seriously sleek look. It's integrated mounts like these which can also work really well with incorporating your front lights. So if you currently mount your front light onto your bars, then perhaps it could be worth exploring the possibility of mounting your light to your computer mount. Companies like MagCAD Designs and Raceware Components have whole libraries of various head unit and front light mounts which can clean up your handlebars and keep everything really nice and central on the bars. If there's a top tip in this video which I think can really elevate your bike's look, then I think this would be it. Before we move on to a different area of the bike, and it's probably some advice I should heed myself, and that is to chop the chimney. If you're confident in your bike fit and don't need the extra steerer tube length, then go see your local mechanic and have that steerer tube cut down. You'll enjoy 2 pretty decent benefits here. First being that your bike will obviously look more pro, but secondly, you'll also be saving a fairly decent amount of weight. You'll be able to ditch a bunch of headset spacers, and of course you'll be losing that section of the steerer tube as well. There's a potential for like a 30 or 50 gram saving just right there. One thing pros rarely have, if ever at all, is a grimy looking drivetrain. Sure, they do have mechanics to look after the maintenance for them. However, if you really want your bike to not just look pro, but also perform really well, then keep it grime free. Taking the time to degrease your chain, cassette and chain rings is a surefire way to extend the longevity of your components, but also keep it looking really fresh. If you really want to hone in on your drivetrain game, then I think it would be worth getting your chain waxed. It will run beautifully smoothly, it will last for much longer than drip-on lubes, and it won't pick up half as much road gunge. It's not just the drivetrain that you should stay on top of, and in fact, I probably don't even need to tell you this, but just by keeping your entire bike clean, it will look so much better for it. Lastly, once you have taken the time to decrudge your bike, try giving it a ceramic coating. Long used in the automotive world, companies like G-Technic are now creating kits for us cyclists to use on our bikes. The result being a frame coating that repels water and makes it really tough for grit and grime to stick to, and even the debris that does adhere will fall off with the smallest amount of effort, making the bike cleaning process even faster and even easier. Let me know down below though, how do you make your bike look more pro?